if the market of materials, the price is just increased a little bit, it does not cost us in order to buy more, because it will cost us more in order to stock the materials, and it will cost us more effort in order to approve and run through the process in order to decide we want to buy that. Okay, and under that is the inelastic demand. Okay, the demand is fluctuating. If you read the textbook, they will say that the demand in the business market is inelastic but fluctuating. Fluctuating here means that the demand tends to change every day, depend on the consumer's market. Okay, so if the consumer see that, oh, this is summer and I want to have more sandals in my shoes rack, so they are going to buy more sandals, and that's when the sandal factory need to produce more. Okay, so the demand and when they need to produce more, they need more materials. So the demand is fluctuating because it needs to depend on the consumers, but the demand here is inelastic because it does not, or it is not affected by the price. Okay, so inelastic means it's not affected by the price change. Fluctuating because it is affected by the consumer. Okay, and the characteristic of the business market is that they have more decision participants. Okay, so imagine like this: in order to buy an Intel chip for the brand, okay, Intel, who will participate in the buying process in HB in order to decide to buy the chip from Intel? What do you think? Who from HB could have the buying decision? Okay, I will change the question like this. Now, imagine HB is the one. Okay, IU is the university who need to buy lots of laptops for the office, for the lecturers in order to perform their teaching service. Okay, teaching service for students. Okay, and in order for IU to decide to buy many HP laptops, okay, who in IU have the power to decide what to buy?
I think it's the purchasing department.
Is that only them or anything else?
The higher ups to like the principals. Yeah.
So there will be many participants in this process. It could be the principals. Okay, it could be the buying department. Okay, purchasing department. It could be the officers who actually use this. That could be the IT department who have the knowledge and the skills and the understanding of the market in order to give recommendations. Okay, so that is like more and more complicated process where many decision participants could participate in order to make decisions. So now, should we buy HP or Dell? Okay, in terms of HP, could we buy this model or that model? So those things will be discussed by like many participants in the university, and it will take up to many months, okay, in order to work and deal the contract with HB or Dell in order to have that product in the university. Okay, so the business market is always more complicated. It's just like compared to when you buy a shirt for yourself. Okay, so maybe it takes you 2 days to think. But if you want to buy a shirt or a t-shirt for all of your class or for all of family members, so now you need to ask every single family member on what color you want, what kind of patterns you want, what kind of materials you want, and each of them will have different ideas. So the process will be much complicated. Okay, and it requires more professional purchasing effort because the purchasing agents are now like the purchasing department who will have the knowledge in terms of deciding, signing the contract, preparing the contract, who will work with, who will help us in order to maintain the products. So the trained purchasing agents, which means the purchasing department, who will go through the long process in order to consider all of the terms and conditions in the contract before deciding. That means that the process of buying is much longer, okay, because we need to spend higher or larger sums of money, okay, complex technical and economic considerations. For example, buying a laptop for IU, okay, the lecturer will need camera and audio function in order to do the online lecture. The lecturer who will require Microsoft in order to have their Word, Excel, and PowerPoint to function better. But maybe the IT team will need another function in order to develop the code or run something to serve for their work every day. And at the same time, could be the admin team require different technical specifications. Okay, so that is the complex technical considerations to think which one will be suitable for everyone in my businesses. Okay, similar thing happens to the factory. So when, for example, if I want to produce t-shirt, okay, and I need to buy materials, so I need to consider which materials will help me to develop different types of t-shirt or different lookbook for my fashion company. Okay, so there are many things in order to consider, because now I don't buy it for me to wear. I buy it to produce the product that is attractive to other customers. Okay, more formalized, as I said, this is the longer process between the buying agents, buying department, who need to ask the lecturers, what do you want? Ask the IT team, what do you want? Ask the admin team, what do you want? Ask the principal, what do you want? So all of the details will need to be accommodated in the contract in order for them to deal with the HB or the Dell company. Okay, buyers and sellers are more dependent. What does it mean? Buyers and sellers are more dependent. Why buyers and sellers in the business market are more dependent?
Because they will need each other, and it will be harder for them to for something else with a competitor or something like that.
Yeah, right. So this is because the number of sellers and the number of buyers are much fewer, right? So the seller really needs the buyer. And because now they are just in the step of producing the product, so they may talk to each other in order to decide that which one I need, so you can produce that. For example, if I'm the one who produced the screw, okay, no, not the screw, the chip for my Apple, okay, so in the next year, maybe I say that, excuse me, in the next year I will need more chip, but different from the later you have provide. Now in this chip I provide, I demand this and this function. Could you do that? Okay, and the chip company will say that, yeah, okay, so thanks for informing us. So because of your demand, I will adjust in this way and that way, so that when Apple import those materials, those equipments, they can function in the way they want. Okay, similarly, for example, t-shirt or fashion company, for example, I'm Uniqlo. Okay, I'm telling my suppliers, okay, it could be the materials company, okay, I'm telling them that, hey, next winter, in winter 2022, I'm going to launch the very new lookbook in which I want to leverage or I want to develop a new way of fashion, so that I need this kind of material which never exists before in the world. Okay, in order to do that, I need your company to provide to me that cloth in order for me to produce my t-shirt or my shirt or my lookbook. Okay, so that company now understand the request of Uniqlo, so they will start to think, or they will start to develop the type of material, the type of cloth that will be suitable for Uniqlo demand. Okay, but imagine if you're the consumer, is there any way you go to Uniqlo and say that, hey, I want to have this or I want to have that, and Uniqlo can serve your demand? No, most of the time you cannot do that. Okay, you can do that, but they won't serve for your demand, because the consumer and business relationship is more independent. They offer that, if you're happy, you come, you buy, and you leave. If you are not happy, you come, you see, and you leave. Okay, you don't have like much request unless thousands or many customers request that product. So the brand will think about that in order to produce the new product. Otherwise, they will have their own thinking or their own research about consumer trends in order to decide which one they want to develop. Okay, but in the business market, in the B2B market, they can work more closely during the on stages of the buying process. For example, dependent here could mean like IU, when they buy laptops from HP, they can say that, well, I don't really want to have that terms in the contract. May you change? And the suppliers can say, okay, we're happy to change. Okay, or the buyers can say that, well, I don't think this model will work really good, so can you adjust that, or can you change it that way? And the company will say, okay, we're happy to do that. Okay, so that means that they are more dependent because there are fewer buyers, and when they buy in larger amount. That's why people or the relationship between business and business are more positive and more dependent in order to customize the needs from each side. Okay, but when we consider B2C, okay, which means business to customers, so because now there are millions or billions of customers and we can never customize to their needs, That's why business will decide what they want to sell, so that customers will just accept or will just think, okay, that is suitable for me, or no, that is not suitable for me, and they will change or move to other competitors. Okay, and talking about the relationship between business and business, okay, they have the term of supplier development. Is when the supplier and partners relationship develop to ensure an appropriate and dependable supply of products. Okay, so it means that whenever you work for the business company, you need to develop the relationship with the suppliers, with the sellers itself. It is like, yes, you are the customers, and as the customers, you have the buying power. But yes, at the same time, they are the one who decide if you can continue your business or not. Okay, imagine if I am IKEA. Okay, and here I'm the one who's selling wood, okay, or materials for IKEA in order to sell it to customer. Okay, of course, IKEA is the one who pay money for for their suppliers, right? So IKEA has the buying power. But at the same time, IKEA won't consider themselves as the customer and this one as the seller. They consider as the relationship, because if this company are not happy, they don't work with IKEA anymore. How can IKEA produce the product for its customer? So the whole supply chain will be influenced. Okay, the whole supply chain will have some issues in terms of, now I don't have my supply and source, so that the cost of my product now increase, so that the price of my product is also increased, so that my customer leave me. Okay, so here we consider this one as the two-way relationships. Okay, they depend to each other. So let's watch this clip and see how IKEA and their supplier develop relationships and depend to each other. Okay. Okay, so we can see that based on the case of IKEA. So this is IKEA. Okay, here's their suppliers, where they supply all of the resources, and here's the customers. Okay, basically, first, all of the company, they will need to research the customer needs first. They want to know that what kind of furnishing, what kind of furniture the customers want. So that the IKEA team will go back and brainstorm about the design and about different products they want. So in order to make their idea come true, okay, they need the help of the supplier. Okay, so supplier here is just like partner, just like teammate. If we don't have them, we cannot execute our ideas. Okay, so the supplier, which means the business market we are mentioning, must be credible. Okay, must be cost effective, must be on time, and many criteria in order to choose the suppliers. Okay, and for suppliers, IKEA is their business market, is their business customers. Okay, who will work with them and buy their products. So these suppliers also know that yes, IKEA are our customers, but we are also partners of IKEA who will form and design the success of the company as well. So whenever we participate in the business-to-business process, credibility or trustworthiness is the top, like the top important in the process, because if we cannot commit or do whatever we promise, the customers will leave us and we are going to lose a very big customers. Okay, and talking about the business buyer behavior. So in recap about the characteristic of business market, okay, you just need to remember business market have fewer buyers but larger buying power. Okay, the demand of the business market is fluctuating and inelastic. The buying process is much longer and more formalized, and the relationship between the buyers and the sellers are like the partnership. Okay, because they are dependent to each other. And now let's consider, or let's talk about the business buyer behavior to know why the process are much longer and formalized, how they decide if they want to buy the product from us. Okay, so this is B2B market, and this is B2C market, which we have studied in the last week. Okay, this one is this week. Okay, so you can see that there will be also 3 stages: the environment, the buying decision, and the buyer response. Okay, so in terms of the environment, here also 4 P's for the marketing stimuli. The other factors are quite similar to each other, but not the competitive. Okay, the buyer response and the buy-in organization are what the key differences in these 2 models. So this one explains why the buying process of the business are much longer and formalized, because here this is just the mindset or inside the thinking of one individual. Here in the thinking of one organization, which include many individuals inside. Okay, so the response here of the customers is just about to buy or not to buy. Okay, to love or not to love, to share their works online or not to share. This one, the response is much more complicated. Okay, it is about which product service they want, which supplier, what quantities they want to order, when is the deliver terms and service terms and payment process. Okay, so let's explore them in this session. In terms of the buying situations, there will be 3 types of buying. Okay, so for example, here are you. Here's the printer company. Okay, so maybe not printer, laptop. Okay, so for example, if you said that, well, for every semester, I want to have like 5 or 50 new laptops for my employee. Okay, so every semester I will just, okay, so maybe not laptop, I will change it to another example. So IU, and they need to buy water bottle. Okay, so if you go to the campus, you will see that we will use Lavi water bottle in every like floor in order to provide water for students and lecturers. Okay, so this is also the business sell things to the organizations. Okay, so IU is the business market of this company. Okay, so they will do the contract, and you could say that every morning I want to buy new like 50 bottles for my students and lecturers, and I want your staff in order to install the new bottles to the floor for us. Okay, so if that is the routine purchase decision, that is the straight rebuy. You just rebuy it without any further consideration. Okay, so this is more about the purchase routine. For example, water bottles, or for example, we want to buy ink for our printers. Okay, so printers, when in the office we use that, it consumes ink, and it consumes the fixed amount of ink every month or every semester. So I will deal with the suppliers to say that, hey, for every semester, please have your staff come and check the printer and also renew or change the ink for me. Okay, so that is the routine purchase decision without any modifications. I call it that is the straight rebuy. Okay, so for the customers who are already there, okay, the suppliers who come to the market want to maintain the quality in order to keep the customers. Okay, the suppliers might need to find or the new way to add values or explore the dissatisfaction so that the buyer will consider that. What does it mean? In suppliers is the existing supplier. Okay, for example, IU is buying the water bottle from Lavi. Okay, so Lavi is the in suppliers, and the out suppliers here could be Aquafina. Okay, so if Lavi is currently having a contract with IU, they want to maintain the quality so that IU could rebuy the products from their companies. Okay, that's what it means by in suppliers want to maintain quality. The out suppliers, which means Aquafina. Okay, so they will say that, well, IU right now just use product of Lavi. If I want to join, how can I do that? Okay, so they will start to do the research and see, is there any way or is there any issue of lobby that IU students and staff have any dissatisfaction? So if I say that maybe because of the flavor or the taste of the water does not suitable or does not satisfy all of the staff, maybe our FINAC can use that as the marketing point in order to come in and say that, hey, if your staff are bored or don't like Lavi anymore, our FINAC can offer that. Okay, so that is when all the suppliers always want to come and explore the dissatisfaction in order to win the contract. Okay, modified rebuy is when we want to change or modify the product specification, price, terms, or suppliers. Okay, so for example, after after 3 years, example only. After 3 years, IU have the contract with HP, about laptop for their staff. Now they want to renew the contract. And with the new contract, they want to change something about product specification, about the price. Maybe currently, in order to buy or to have the HP laptop, that is about $1,000, which is quite expensive. Now, because of the amount of laptop needed in the university has increased, so they want to reduce the price or the amount of money spent for it. That is when we rebuy with the modification. So they may say that, your laptop currently is too expensive. It's a little bit expensive and I want to change. In that sense, HP, who is the existing suppliers, try in order to balance the need of the customers and their offers in order to protect a relationship with IU, in order to protect an account. Our suppliers such as Dell, such as Lenovo, will say, I heard that, I know that the customers have those interests and those needs. So maybe I will take this opportunity to make better offer to them. So because I heard the rumor, I may think of how I will adjust myself in order to fit with that customers and offer the better offers for them. So that is how they will take an opportunity and work on that. New task situation is when, for example, in the past, IU does not have any business or work with, for example, Microsoft Teams. But because of COVID-19, now they need a platform to teach online, to learn online. So this is a purchase decision that requires thorough research, such as the new product. So that is the new task. That is the task or the product that they haven't worked before. And at that time, IU will send the proposal or the request to different company for a quote, for the budget asking or for the price. So Microsoft Teams and other platform, for example, Zoom, Google Teaching, Google Meet, or other online education platform will offer them the product in order to serve in order to serve and in order to provide new products to IU. So there are three major types of buying situation, and in each situation, the in and the out suppliers will have different strategies. And we have mentioned that the process of buying is longer and more formalized. That is because within the process, there are more than one individuals participates in the process. We have users, influencers, designers, buyers, and gatekeepers. Okay, you can read about this later. I will just explain briefly. Okay, user. Taking the case of our university again. Okay, you and buy in the laptop. User here could be the staff. Okay, could be the lecturer. Who will use the laptop? Okay, buyer here is the purchasing department. Who have the power? Okay, or who have the formal authority to select the supplier? Okay, because they are the one who have money and they could decide on what is the services or the vendors we have, what type of negotiation we need, what type of terms and conditions we want to maintain. Okay, decider here could be the same with the buyers, or the decider could be the manager of these buyers, or could be the principal. Okay, who will have the final decision on the process. Okay, the gatekeepers control the information flow. The influencer is one who has the expertise of the product. For example, in this case, that could be the technical person or the IT person. Okay, so in order for Dell to sell the laptop to the university, first they need to understand the need and the use of the staff and lecturer. Okay, they need to talk with the purchasing department in order to know what kind of payment terms, what kind of contract conditions that they need. Okay, they need to talk with the technical person in order to understand their expertise and in order to understand the requirements of the IT. Okay, they may need to deal or not with the principal. Okay, most of the time, if the buyer could act as the role of the decider, so they don't need to talk with another decider anymore. Okay, information flow is the one who control the flow of information. Okay, for example, the buyer could prevent the salesperson of Dell in order to meet the lecturer. Okay, or the secretary may prevent the Dell salesperson in order to talk with the decider. Okay, so in that case, the gatekeeper also plays some role. It's just like when you go to like some businesses, in order to understand, in order to ask questions, in order to deal with them. Don't or never mess with the receptionist or the secretary. Okay, the reason is that they can decide if they want you or they don't want you to meet the decider. Okay, so okay, that just support for that slide. There are more challenges in the buying center because more and more individuals are here. Lots of people participate in the process, and each of them will have the relevant authority in terms of deciding, in terms of questioning, in terms of negotiating. Okay, each of them will have different evaluation criteria. For example, the users will want the laptop like this, but the technical person want the laptop like this, so that is more suitable with their demand. Okay, so major influences on the business buyers, which say that what could be the differences? What could influence the buy-in decision process? The first one, of course, the price. What does it mean? So because now they buy things in a very large amount. Okay, so price is something they consider as well. They don't want to, for example, you want to buy laptop, they also want to deal with the services or the company who can offer them good price. And service. What does it mean by service? What do you think? What kind of services that the business markets will require?
Is it like the delivery time? Or yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So good answer, Khan. Or Khan. Sorry, I don't remember that. Okay. So when we think of service of our products, for example, we want to buy HP for our organizations, we will think, what kind of payment term is that? Do they want us to pay 100% on one time, or can we split that into 20, 20, and 60? What is the delivery time of that? For example, if we want that in next semester, can they provide 100 laptops before that semester, or we need to wait for another semester? Okay, maintenance as well. So maintenance refer to if there is any problems with the laptops, can we contact them in order to ask them to fix for us, or we need to do that ourselves? Okay, so those things related to service. And in personal factors, emotion is very important. It's just like this. For example, you're a salesperson, you go to the business, okay, and you realize that the decider is your ex. Okay, so for example, you are the salesperson, you are selling laptop to organization, and the decider here is your ex-girlfriend or ex-boyfriend. Okay, they just don't like you. Okay, they just hate you. So because they have the deciding power for the whole organization, or they can influence or other people in the team. Okay, so the emotion or the way you approach them, the way you talk with them is also very important, because that one person can have the big influence or have a big decision out of others or out of the whole buy-in process. That is when we need to be very, very carefully with the decider or the buyers who are going to buy our product. Okay, so talking in detail. Okay, the environment factors that influence our business buyers. Okay, that include the demand for the product. Do they really need our product? What kind of the economy trends they are heading to? What kind of the cost of money, the resource availability? So I take an example of IKEA. Okay, and I'm the one who's selling materials for IKEA. Environmental factors here mean question. I start to question if IKEA customers really need this product. If customers need it, which means IKEA also need it, which means I can sell more. Okay, because the demand of the customer influence the business buyers of mine, which means IKEA. Okay, the economic outlook is like is the economy of that country runs well. Okay, if it is well, which means people could pay more or spend more for furnishing products. If not, maybe they don't want to change their products. Okay, cost of money is also influence the IKEA in terms of, for example, because now they want to source that type of materials, but that is too expensive, so they won't like that material anymore. Or because now in order to do that product, they like that specific type of material, but they are not available. Okay, because they are not available, they cannot work with that supplier anymore, but they need to find other supplier. Okay, technology here refers to how the buyers can offer any type of technology in terms of delivery, in terms of payment, in terms of producing the right amount of product on time. Okay, cultural factors, political factors, and competitors we have already mentioned in previous session. Organizational factors, okay, refers to how many people are involved, what are the objectives of buying that product, who are the people involved in the process. Is that a very, very long process? Because when you talk about organizations, there's organizations this and that, okay? There are some organizations that the buying process is very easy because they don't have many employees in order to serve. For some organization, they have like a very formalized and long process or high standard in terms of choosing the suppliers. So it is more problematic. Okay, evaluative criteria and policies and limits will also influence the organizations and influence their ability to choose the product. Okay, some organizations will prefer sustainability. What does it mean? It means that they care about other issues, for example, environment, for example, community. Okay, in that sense, for example, this is from the coffee house. Okay, maybe previously their suppliers are plastic straw, but because the demand changed, the organization direction changed. Now they don't want the plastic straw anymore. They prefer the paper-based straw. In that sense, the coffee house or the straw suppliers of the coffee house need to change their product. Or maybe they lose this account and they need other supplier or another material or resources supplier in order to participate in the process. Okay, interpersonal factors I have mentioned. So this part is the big organization where you sell the products to. There will be some key individuals, okay, who will make final decision. And these individuals will have different influences, ability, or authority, expertise, and dynamics, okay, in order to decide if they want to buy or not to buy the products. And these factors are very subtle. Why? Why is that? Why these factors are very subtle? Why the interpersonal factors are very subtle? Any ideas? Why the interpersonal factors are very subtle? Okay, so it is subtle, or they are subtle because as a salesperson, when we come to the company, we don't know who has the influence, who has the authority, how much expertise do they have. Okay, so the salesperson will only depend on their subjective view in order to think or in order to guess who is who. Okay, so these participants do not wear anything to label them as I am the key decision maker or I am the user. No, you never know that. Okay, you just based on your experience in order to observe and in order to think, okay, who is who have the influence, who have the expertise in order to decide, or you will try to understand that what kind of strategies of negotiation or preferences do they need. Okay, and individual factors for each person is also influencing the business buyer's behavior. For example, talking about online education. Okay, with a person who is about 30s or compared to the person who is 60s, okay, in the same organization, totally different. Okay, age have a big influences. Education also, for example, you are talking about selling phones for the staff, and talking with the person who study about IT or engineering, they will have different cares or different concern compared to who study about art. Okay, so in summary, when we want to sell something to other company or organization, they are considered as our business markets. Okay, and these business buyers will be influenced by different factors. Okay, it could be environmental factors, organizational factors, interpersonal factors, and individual factors. Okay, so when we want to sell our products to these business buyers, we need to consider all of the factors, from the macro factors to the organizational factors and to the individual factors. Okay. Okay, the last one. We're going to talk through the process, the buying process. Okay, so basically, before we're talking about buying process, anyone can remind me what is the customer buying process? What are the 5 stages of customer buying process? Any ideas? What are the 5 stages of customer purchasing process?
They need to recognize their needs, and that they search for information.
Yes.
The third step is to evaluate between their choices. Number 4 is to make the decision, and number 5 is the after process, like they're like whether it's good or not.
Yeah, correctly. Okay, so most of the time you will see this question in your midterm. Okay, so people love to ask about customer and customer process. Okay, so that's good that you can remember the process that the customers may experience. So for the business market, that is not 5 stage anymore. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 stages. Okay, again, because that is the longer process. It also starts with problem recognition. Okay, this one refer to information search. They start with like, what are the needs that I have? Okay, what are the general needs of my organization? So what are the general needs for my business? Okay, what is the product specification? For example, what kind of function criteria I need for my product? Okay, and then I will start to search for my supplier. Okay, this one is search internally to understand the need of my organizations. This one is when I start to search for my supplier. Then I will start a proposal solicitation. Okay, so which means that I will consider all of the proposal sent by many and many like suppliers. Okay, so when I start to say that, hello suppliers, I need this product, so many suppliers will send me the proposal. Okay, so this step I will start to evaluate, okay, or qualify the suppliers. This is similar to evaluation process in consumer buying process. Okay, then this is when I start to purchase. Okay, selection here is like purchase. Okay, so you start the terms and condition, and throughout the purchase, of course, you will need to sign a contract which include lots of terms and conditions. Okay, and then performance review is after you buy the product and you review, you may contact the users to ask if the users are happy with the product, if there is any issue, blah, blah, blah. So that refers to performance review. Okay, so basically the buying process of the business will go through 8 stages. The first one is find the problems. Okay, it could be internal or external. It could be from your staff raising, or it could be the idea that you find somewhere. General need description is when you start to accompany or incorporate all of the needs from your staff in order to know that, okay, so they need this product with this number of products. Okay, and then you start to describe the technical criteria. Okay, they need the laptop and 100 of that. Okay, here you say that, okay, they need laptop 100. Here you will start to have that, okay, they need laptop with eCore 7. They need the laptop that is able to run this, this, and that. So the specification, the criteria is more detailed. Okay, and then they will start to search for supplier. Okay, they will go and search for all of the list of suppliers, and they will also work through the number of proposals to qualify. And then they will select the suppliers. They start their order routine specification. Okay, they will decide that which suppliers they want to go with, and they want to deal with all of the terms and conditions of the purchase. Okay, performance review is after they buy the product. Now they want to evaluate. Okay, if the users happy, if the users are dissatisfied, if the users are this or that. Okay, So during the process, we also mentioned about e-procurement. E-procurement is referred to when we buy things on the internet. Okay, so in the past, when we want to buy something from the business markets, okay, from other business partner, most of the time we need to contact them, phone them, or see them directly. But in e-procurement, we can do all of these things like purchase, like search for information, talk about terms and conditions through the internet. Okay, just like this. Oh, okay. So I will send you the alternative video later. So the advantages of the e-procurement is that you are able to access to new suppliers because now they have information everywhere on the internet. You can search for them, you can work with them, you can lower the cost, and you can speed up in terms of process and delivery. Okay. You can also share with your information. With a click, you can copy the link, send that to the users to see if they agree or not. Okay, and you can have a service and support from the chatbot or from the virtual assistant or from any available salesperson without asking them to travel to your place. Okay, the disadvantage is that when you already have the suppliers and now you have e-procurement, which means you are able to buy online. Okay, which means you are able to buy through website, blogs, apps, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube. So the buyers can always search for new suppliers. Okay, and when the buyers are able to search for new suppliers, your existing relationship with that buyers can be harmed. Okay, it can be negatively affected because now they always have alternative options out there. Okay, and the concern on security is also question because now everything is happened through the internet, including the product they choose, the terms and conditions they deal with each other, and if those information are hacked or are leaked to another organization or another suppliers, so the deal between you and your customers will also be stopped by others, and they can take that information for their own information, and they can offer better market offerings. Okay, and that's all for today's session. This is 9:40. Okay, please let me know if you have any questions related to this chapter or any other chapter. Okay, otherwise we'll have a break until 9:55. Okay, please come back at 9:55 for the quiz. So during the break, if you have any questions you want to ask me right now, you can do that. Okay, I will still be here. If you want to have a break and you want to grab some bread or some water, please feel free to do that. Okay.
I have a question for the quiz, Miss.
Yes, please.
It's more a technical one. So you said that we have 20 minutes, and how many questions do we have in this one?
Okay, so that will be 10 multiple choice questions and 2 short answers.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Okay, everyone, if you have come back, you can try to click on the forms, on the link on the screen, and you click that. And please make sure that you have to sign in with your own university account in order to access the form. Currently, if you access the form, we said that you have, but the time is not there yet in order to start the form. So please wait until 10 in order to start it. Okay, if there's any problem, any technical issues, please let me know.
Can I ask where's the link?
Yes?
Can I ask where's the link?
Yeah, please ask your question. Sorry?
Teacher,
Yes?
can you send the link to the chat box?
Okay.
Thank you, teacher.
Can you access it now?
Teacher.
Yes?
My post say that it doesn't accept the response anymore.
Yeah, you need to wait until 10 in order to reload the form.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Yeah. Don't worry. Okay, I think the form is already loaded. So good luck for everyone. Let me know if you have any technical issues. Hi everyone, you need to send the form before 10:30, otherwise you won't be able to send the form. Okay? So the time is over. You need to send the form before 10:30, otherwise you cannot send the form. I have just extended the deadline, so please send the form now. Otherwise you cannot send the form. Hi, Thư, I have already received your answers. Hi everyone, please submit your form now. Otherwise, you cannot send the form after 10:30. Okay, so the session is ended now. Goodbye everyone, and I will see you next week.